Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and welcome to AI Marketing Trends, Tools, and Strategies. My name is Michelle Eisenberg, and I am a program assistant here at the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center. And for those of you who may not know, the NASDAQ Center is a nonprofit that is building a better path for entrepreneurs worldwide by improving access and knowledge for all in entrepreneurship. So as you will see in the chat in a moment, the NASDAQ Center provides programs, resources, and exceptional mentorship to entrepreneurs across all races, industries, and geographies. So definitely make sure to check out those links and resources in the chat. And then just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. We are going to open up for live Q&A at the end of the event, so please make sure to submit your questions for us in that Q&A function at the bottom of your screen throughout the presentation. We are going to try our best to get to all of them. And of course, none of what we do could be possible at the center without all of the amazing support from our sponsors, including NASDAQ, Lehigh University, KPMG, Wilson Sonsini, Wells Fargo, the Narit Foundation, Walmart.org, JP Morgan Chase, BPM, HubSpot for Startups, and Google Cloud. We are humbled by their contributions and hope you are grateful too. And so before we get started, we always like to launch a couple of polls to step back, see how everyone here is doing today. This first poll is going to ask, how are you feeling? Fearful, anxious, surviving, or optimistic? And we'll give it a few moments for folks to respond here. Thank you, thank you. All right, we'll give it one more moment. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to end this poll and share these results. All right, optimism coming up in the lead, surviving right behind, and then we got some feelings of fear and anxiety as well. Hopefully you can see that no matter what you are feeling, you are not alone, and I'm very confident that our presentation today may help alleviate some of those feelings going forward. So I'm going to stop sharing this poll and launch the second one. What is keeping you up at night? Is it finance, sales, marketing, scale, pivot, team, or surviving? And this one just helps us understand your current needs as an entrepreneur so we can make sure that the programs and resources in development going forward continue to be valuable for all of you. Awesome. I'll give it one more moment on this poll. Thank you all for participating. All right, going once, going twice. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna end this poll and share these results. All right, finance and sales coming up in the lead. Wonderful. We got marketing close behind and other needs all across the board. So awesome. Thank you all so much. Super helpful. Really appreciate the participation. And with that, and without any further delay, please join me in giving the warmest welcome to our special guest, Cliff Worley, Head of Portfolio Marketing at Kport Capital and NASDAQ Center Advisory Board member. Cliff, always such a pleasure to have you on the stage with us. Welcome back. And I am going to pass it right over.
Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate it. It's been over a year since we did this last presentation, so I'm excited to share out the new AI tools for 2025. I'm going to share my screen here. All right, and make it full screen. There we go. All right, can everybody see? right.
Looks great.
Perfect. I'm going to move this around. All right. So, hi everyone. My name is Cliff Worley. I am the head of portfolio marketing at Capor Capital. It's an early stage venture capital firm out of Oakland, California. I have a lot of slides, so I'm going to move fast. So I'll give a quick introduction about myself. We'll talk a little bit about the current state of AI. I'll give you my top AI marketing tools for 2025, and then at the end, we will leave time for Q&A. A couple of housekeeping items. Number one, you will get the slides. So I know I'll move fast, but you will get all the slides at the end, and you will get a list of all the tools with links to the tools as well. And once again, just please hold all questions to the end. A little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in Oakland, California. Went to UC Berkeley for undergrad. Worked in Silicon Valley for 10 years, hated my job, ended up quitting and going to business school to get my MBA at Babson in Boston. While I was there, I met Damon John from ABC Shark Tank. I'm not sure a lot of you guys have seen Shark Tank, but I worked for Damon for 4 years, ran all of his marketing. And then I joined the board in 2016 of NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center, which I've been on the board almost, I think it's been 10 years now, or almost 10 years. And then joined Kapor after, and I help all of our portfolio companies with all things marketing and growth. And then I'm also on the board of VC Platform, which is a trade organization of all the VC platform professionals across the globe. So I kind of got my start in digital marketing, and I used to give these presentations all the time. And I would also talk about all the marketing tools that are out there. Of course, marketing is complicated. And so I would do presentations just to show people like what are the best marketing tools out there. And then of course in November 2022, ChatGPT comes out. It only took ChatGPT 2 months to reach 100 million global monthly users, which is pretty crazy. It took TikTok 9 months, Instagram 30 months, and Uber 70 months to just show you how fast this is growing. And of course, now there are even more tools for me to go through and sort through. So that is my role. This is an interesting website. It tracks all of the AI tools that have been developed. There, as of yesterday, there are 29,000 AI tools. And this number has pretty much grown significantly, and every single month it gets bigger and bigger. And I think we're probably going to see an explosion of this number because now there are a lot of AI coding tools that help you build tools even faster, and AI coding tools that help people who don't know how to code build tools as well. So I think we're probably at the beginning of this. I have not gone through all 29,000, but I have definitely seen the best of the best. Okay, so a little bit about the current state of AI. I prompted AI to give me a picture of what the current state of AI looks like, and this is what it gave me. A whole bunch of robots pretty much fighting each other. I mean, every single week there is something different that changes, and it puts a new AI tool in the leaderboard. And literally every week, sometimes every single day, I think just within the last 3 weeks, as I'm sure you guys have seen across the news, there has been a lot of change, and I expect this to only continue until there is one big master tool, which I doubt will ever happen. So this will be the norm. One of my favorite tweets to kind of describe what AI is like right now. So building an AI is wild right now. The only way I can describe it is like hundreds of teams trying to build high-speed rails while thousands of other teams build the trains, and no one has any idea which rails or trains work, and there's just a high chance that everything just breaks. And that is where we are in terms of AI. Another tweet I like is the progress in AI is like the iPod, iPhone, and iPad all showing up in a 2-year window. So it is moving really, really fast. And then finally, Sam had a great tweet last year where it's not that the future is going to happen so fast, it's that the past happened so slow. And I think we're literally living that right now, where it's like every week, it's like, oh, wait, what just came out? Oh, wait, we can do what? So it will be absolutely crazy. All right, so I know you guys are here for the top AI marketing tools. I did this presentation, I think it was May 2023. I covered 37 tools in that one. I will be covering 40 tools in this one. So it will be jam-packed, and I'm excited to show you what I choose are my favorite AI tools for marketing. But first, what I want to show you kind of is a picture of an income statement, just to show you how AI tools are basically coming for every part of the business to basically help you to grow your business a whole lot easier. So for revenue tools, of course, there's tons of sales tools. There's a lot of tools for customer support, R&D tools. There's tons of those. There's agents. There's coding tools for HR, accounting, legal, project management. I mean, there's tools coming for every single aspect of the business. And of course, today we are going to focus on the marketing aspect of AI. All right, so my goal for this whole entire presentation is for you to just basically learn one tool. I want you to just take away one tool that'll hopefully help you save time, save money, and increase your productivity, which hopefully will increase sales in your business. We're going to go through a whole bunch of different categories, and the first category is graphic design. So if you have ever been looking to develop a logo for your business, I highly recommend this tool called Looka. It's an AI-powered tool that will help you design a logo and also help you design a brand guide. I highly, highly, highly recommend this if you want to save a whole lot of money and don't want to hire a designer to develop that for you. Another logo tool is called Logo Diffusion. This one is a little bit more powerful if you want to get into different types of logos. They use AI to generate these. You can just download them and slap them on your website. So it's pretty cool. In terms of PowerPoints and slides, my favorite tool is Beautiful.ai. There are a bunch of different AI design, presentation design tools. The reason why I like Beautiful AI is that it has a whole bunch of templates that you can just load your information into. And you can also use AI to prompt a slide. So I don't recommend it for prompting a whole entire presentation. And I don't think AI is really there to give you a really, really good presentation just off of one prompt. But I do think it can get you per slide. And I think this is one of those tools where you can literally say, hey, here is a graph that I need created. Here's the data. Can you put that into a slide for me? And it will do that for you. So highly recommend Beautiful.ai. They just kind of revamped their platform. So it looks a whole lot better. If you haven't checked it out, if you have checked it out before, highly recommend going back and checking it out. A tool for graphic design and just graphics in general is called Ideogram. This one is one of the best tools, I think, for creating images with text on it. So let's say, for example, this picture says, let's create on it. If you wanted to say, let's jam, all you have to do is just change the copy and it will create that for you. The cool thing is that you can use a lot of these different pictures and their prompts to create a different variation of the photo for you. So it makes it really, really easy to get inspiration to create photos. Sometimes I come here just to see what people have created, and then I'll change the prompt up just a little bit. They also do have this thing where you can upload a photo and it will actually describe the prompt of what that photo could be. And then you click generate and it will generate another photo for you that'll look similar to that. So if you have graphics and things like that, it'll do that for you, which is pretty cool. This is a new feature that they just added. So it's literally taking that photo, creating a prompt, and then recreating a photo for you. One of my favorite AI image generation tools is called FreePic. A lot of people haven't heard of them, but I use them pretty much for all of my stuff. They do video generation. You can clone your face and stuff if you want. You want custom characters. You can retouch images. One of the best tools I would say out there right now. And there's tons of image generation tools out there, but just had to pick two. These are my favorite. I actually have one more, which is Grok on X. Is they have a tool where you can basically prompt AI to do anything. So if you've seen all these crazy images on social media, 9 times out of 10, they are created in Grok. So I had LeBron James promoting my newsletter there. I had him holding up a sign. If anybody knows LeBron James, please don't tell them that I created this. But if you want to create crazy images, I highly recommend doing that in Grok. Now, Google also came out with an image generation tool, and I will also say that this is probably one of the best ones out there. It's a free tool, so highly, highly recommend that because it's free. But what you can do is you can just prompt, you can prompt the tool I said I wanted to create a wooden suit with moss on it, and this is what it came back with me. It's a wild picture, but you can change it to different characters that'll automatically pick up what features that you want to change. But I highly, highly recommend checking this out. You can change the landscape, the quality, but Google is really coming up with a whole lot of tools right now that I highly recommend start paying attention to. If you want to create a custom influencer, there's a tool called RenderNet. A lot of times people want to create the same character every single time, but it's hard to keep that character consistency. And so with a tool like RenderNet, you can basically design your character and then prompt them into a whole bunch of different positions. And, a lot of people say that, a lot of these AI influencers are coming for influencer marketing, and that is true. So instead of paying an influencer to do a photo shoot, you can literally just create your own AI avatar that looks like a real person, which is pretty crazy. Speaking of crazy, this is probably one of the craziest tools I've seen. It is called Can of Soup. What this one does is you can prompt it to basically scan a photo of your face, and then you can scan it to, have you, really pick you in to do any type of position or image you want. So, of course, I'm a huge 49ers fan, being from the Bay Area. I wanted it to prompt me to be a San Francisco 49ers player. This is the image that it came up with. This post went viral for me. A lot of people thought that I was going to the gym, and I was not in the gym, but it made me want to go to the gym. And just to show you, this was probably last year or maybe a year and a half ago that I created this photo. And just to show you how far image generation has come, this is now what that prompt looks like with me as a San Francisco 49ers player. I mean, it actually looks like I play for the 49ers, which is pretty crazy. And I actually use this picture on my dating profile. And let's just say that I have no problem getting dates. Totally kidding, but crazy. All right, LinkedIn tools. All right, so last year, I talked about this tool called Taplio. And this one, I will say, is actually better than Taplio. What this tool does is it's actually called supergrow.ai. And it's basically the #1 tool to help growing your personal brand on LinkedIn. So a couple of things. #1 is that all you do is you drop your LinkedIn profile in there, and it'll read all your previous posts, and it'll tell you basically this is how your brand voice is. And so anytime you prompt it, it will prompt it in your own voice, which is pretty cool. The other thing it does is if you've ever been on LinkedIn and you like a style of someone else's post, it will learn that style, and then you can create posts in that style as well. They have a carousel generator. I mean, I will say that this is probably one of the best LinkedIn tools out there for growing your personal brand. They don't have the ability to create posts for your personal business pages, but for your personal brand, I highly, highly, highly recommend this one. And the other thing that's really cool is that you can, if you have a YouTube video that you've watched, you can put a link to a YouTube video in there, and it'll basically create a LinkedIn post for you. Or if you have an article that you want to share and you just don't know what to say when you post it, you can do that as well. You can just post the link there, and it'll create a post. Another really good tool, if you want to optimize your LinkedIn profile, you're looking for a job or something like that, there's a tool called careerflow.ai. It basically will optimize the copy on your LinkedIn page. So your headline, the summary, your job, and it kind of gives you kind of a score on how your LinkedIn profile is. So highly recommend that. One of my other favorite tools is called Engage AI. What this one does is it helps you write comments on LinkedIn. And so let's say, for example, you see a post. This is an example of a post of one of our founders. He spoke at a conference. I actually didn't know exactly what I wanted to respond to him. So what the tool does is you click this little button, and it'll tell you whether you want to write a friendly response, funny response, you want to disagree or congratulate or question the response. For this example, I click congratulate. It then reads the post and writes the response for me. So congratulations on the speaking opportunity. I love the focus on attracting and retaining talent in today's market. Excited to hear more about the conversation. So that was AI. So if you need easy ways to engage on LinkedIn, highly recommend that tool. All right. Advertising tools. So one of my favorite tools is called foreplay.co. What this one does is it actually helps you save ads that you see on social media. So if you see an ad on TikTok that you like, you can just basically create a swipe file and save all of those ads. Same thing for Facebook as well. But one of the features that I like is they have the ability to rewrite the scripts of videos that you see. So let's say you saw a viral video that you thought would be really, really good for your business, but you don't have the time to basically write out the copy for that video. They have a button that will basically transcribe that video, and then you can input your business in there, and then it will rewrite the script for you. So that way you can write a viral script for a video of yours. Um, Another tool that's really cool, it's called Kaya. Get Kaya is the website, but you can do competitive analysis on your competitors, which is really cool to see what ads they're running. So for this example, I'm pretending that I'm Gusto. My competitors are ADP, Deal, and Rippling. And so now I can see who's running Google ads, Meta ads, LinkedIn ads, Twitter ads, and then I can see how long they're running those ads as well, which is pretty cool. Then they actually show me the ads that they're running. So if I need inspiration, I can just come into the library and see the ads. And then most importantly, they show me the copy that is used most in the ads as well. So if I want some inspiration, I can just come here. Another tool, if you don't know actually how to create ads, they're making it easy. It's called adcreative.ai. It's the #1 tool for advertising, but they can generate ad banners, text, photo shoots, and videos for your ads. So you just give it your brand name, which you do, and it can create those ad creatives for you, also create product shots. So AI is really getting creative right now for running ads. So highly recommend this one too. Now, a lot of people just use ChatGPT. There are other tools other than ChatGPT. So first one is Claude. This one is made by a company called Anthropic, who's backed by Amazon, and actually Google too has put a lot of money in there. But this one I would say is what I use for writing. I think the writing that comes out of Claude is a whole lot more human-like than it is for ChatGPT. So highly recommend checking out Claude. I have kind of stopped using Google, and I usually now use Perplexity. And what Perplexity is, you know how Google has like, 10 links when you Google something. Well, Perplexity does is it will actually go and read those links for you and then give you a summary of the answer and then link to what articles they found that answer in. And it really helps for just literally everything. So highly recommend Perplexity if you haven't checked this out. And they do have a free version, but they do have a pro version too. I use the free one, and it works just fine. And of course, they have Google Gemini. This is Google's LLM. I will say that Google has made some pretty big strides in the last couple of months. They released their 2.0 model, I think late last year. They have this feature called deep reasoning where you can create these really rich market research reports. Highly recommend checking out Google. I definitely just didn't check out Google for a long time. And now I'm back into it and I'm like, oh, wow, this tool has advanced a whole lot more. So highly recommend that one. And then I'm sure you guys all heard the hoopla about DeepSeek, the Chinese LLM model. You can try this one out on their website as well. It actually will reason and it'll show you how they reason, which is pretty cool. And it's free. The other thing I would say, just make sure you don't put anything sensitive in there, but definitely worth checking out. And then if you want to check out all the models at once, there's a tool called GM Tech where you can literally just make a prompt once and it'll show you what the response is across all of the different platforms as well. All right, cold email, one of my favorite tools. A lot of people haven't heard of this one, but it's called octave.ai. And what they do is they help you with cold email, but in a really, really powerful way. So they actually help you come up with your own marketing messaging and positioning to certain companies, and they use that in the cold email. So you kind of get like what's called kind of like a playbook, and you can put in your ideal customer profile, their concerns, their priorities, and then you basically say, okay, I want to target heads of business development. They'll tell you what that description of that job is, their primary responsibilities, their key concerns. But the cool thing is it'll also give you other titles that you should target as well. And the best thing about it is that it will actually go find those people for you. And then it will go and take your messaging and marketing and then write cold emails to them. So it's kind of like an all-in-one solution, really, really popular amongst startups. Some sales tools. This is a Google Chrome extension. It's called Lavender. But basically, what it is, it's like an AI sales email coach. It will give you a score on how your sales emails are, and if they should be improved, and it'll kind of give you tips on, kind of like how to do that. They do have, like I said, it's a score. They have gifts in there, and then they can help you start your email with AI and give you kind of the right opener for your email to capture attention. Copy AI is a new go-to-market, or not new, but a go-to-market platform that was pretty crazy. I was talking to the founder. I was like, "Give me your, craziest use case." And what he was using, or the example he gave, was that someone was, doing sales calls, and then they would have AI listen to the meeting, and the AI was specifically programmed to listen to the customer's pain points, and then those pain points were then taken, and then he would develop a blog post to show how his business solved those pain points, and then would put that into a LinkedIn post. And so he was showing me that, like, at the end of all his sales calls, AI will basically create all those blog posts, put them all in LinkedIn, and then put them all in Notion to be scheduled out, which is like absolutely crazy and genius. Email tools. So one of my favorite email newsletter tools is called Beehive. I actually personally use it for my newsletter. But the reason why I really like it is because they're kind of like AI first kind of thing. And so you can basically use AI to help write your newsletter. You get stuck on kind of having writer's block. They can definitely help with that. They also you can do AI generated images as well. One of my favorite platforms. I highly recommend this over Substack. And then if you want an easy way to get into AI, I always say get in there through email. Gmail has kind of like their AI natively built in, but another powerful platform is called Superhuman. A lot of people use this as well, but I use their feature to kind of respond back to messages and come up with my copy as well. And then in terms of if you're writing like actual email campaigns, there's a tool called Hoppy Copy. And what this one does is that it actually knows what, like for example, an abandoned cart sequence actually looks like. So you can say, I want an abandoned cart sequence, this is my product, and it will write that email for you. So if you're doing a lot of email and email campaigns, I highly recommend Hoppy Copy. Social media. Now, I will say, I think this is probably one of the best social media tools. It's called Blaze AI in terms of creating content. And it's kind of like their goal is to, like, as a team of one, to just make you look like a team of six. But it's a really good platform. Excuse me, let me get some water. I'm losing my voice. But it's a really good platform to create content. What it does is you can give it basically your brand voice. You give it your tone, you want the emotion, the language, the syntax, and it'll basically create like your brand voice. So anytime you create a post, it will automatically be in your brand voice. And then you can basically give it, one document. You can give it a blog post, and it can turn that blog post into tweets. It can turn it into LinkedIn post. It could turn it into a landing page, video script, kind of all in one. But the thing that I love about it the most is that you can say, I want to schedule this blog post out over LinkedIn over the next, like, 3 days, over the next 3 months. It will automatically not only go schedule those for you, but it'll write those posts as well. And so you're literally just telling it what you want it to do, and it'll go do that for you. So highly recommend Blaze. Now, meeting tools. So one of my favorite meeting tools, there are a lot of meeting transcriber tools out there. My favorite is Quill. One of the things is about Quill is that, it will summarize all my meeting notes. It'll tell me all the action items. I can write a follow-up email based on the transcript of that. But the thing that I like about it the most is that every Sunday night, it sends me an email, and it tells me, it goes back and it listens to all of my previous meetings for the week. And then it tells me, hey, Cliff, these were the things that you said that you were going to do, which is pretty crazy because I'm like, I can't remember all the things I said I was going to do. So it's super helpful as I prepare for my upcoming week. And this is kind of what it looks like. It'll capture all of your to-dos, and then you can kind of click, done once you finish those things. Hardware tools. So I have been kind of getting into this AI hardware space. And this one, because I love meeting notes and meeting transcribing, I think that that's like one of the easiest ways to really take advantage of AI. Because if once you get the notes, you can do a whole lot with it. But if you ever are out in the wild and you don't have your computer to record, there's this device called Plod, and it will basically like record, any of your meeting notes for you. The cool thing about Plod is that it will also, once it summarizes your notes, it'll basically give you things that you should have asked in the meeting as well. And it's already programmed natively, so it's pretty cool. And they have templates as well. I've also been really getting into AI hardware on myself, which is the Meta Ray-Bans. And I've really been enjoying these in terms of just creating content. So they've got, they got the camera, you've got a little button on the side. And the other cool thing is they have speakers, so you can listen to music or take phone calls within the glasses, which is pretty crazy. Nobody can actually hear it. You can also live stream, but it's really, really good for creating kind of like first person content that I'm sure you're probably wondering, like, how are people creating all these videos? And a lot of times they're doing it with the Meta Ray Bans. And I think that this is going to be the future, is really, it's going to be more AI on our face. And so I highly recommend, if you want to get onto the trend early, is checking out the Ray Bans. All right, audio tools. So if you've ever wanted to clone your voice or use a AI voice that sounds really, really good, and let's say you don't like your voice, you can use this tool called 11 Labs. It's a voice generator where literally you can just type in the text, you pick your person of who you want that voice to be in, and then you just click play, and it will basically it'll basically play back the text in that voice, and then you can just download it and use it for any social content. Really cool. Probably one of the #1 platforms for voice. And then there is 11 Labs also has a reader. Now, this is one of my kind of hacks, is that if I'm like tired or I'm going on the road and I want to read an article, but of course I can't read while I'm driving, 11 Labs has this thing where you can just paste an article in there, and then it will use an 11 Labs voice to read that article back to you. So if you're trying to learn really, really fast, or you're just an audible learner, I highly, highly, highly recommend this. It just saves a whole lot of time and increases your knowledge very, very quickly. And then if you ever have a audio or video that you need transcribed for free, there is a tool called AI Transcriptions by Riverside. All you do is drop the file in there and it will give you the transcriptions. Really, really cool. So this tool was pretty cool when I found out about it. It's called Podcrafter. And if you have a newsletter, what it does is it turns your newsletter into a podcast. So what you do is you record yourself reading your podcast, and then you save it, and then you just add an email alias to your newsletter that's Podcrafter related. And then anytime your newsletter goes out, it will automatically create a podcast of your newsletter in your voice, which is like absolutely crazy. And the coolest thing is that it will automatically upload it to Spotify and Apple Music. So literally all you have to do is just set it up one time, and you can literally have your newsletter or podcast on Apple Music and Spotify. And it sounds pretty good. I mean, it has music. It literally sounds like a podcast. Perplexity AI, they have one if you want to check out what like an AI generated podcast sounds like. But my thing is like, a lot of people are kind of hesitant, but it's like, if it's good information, it's good information. It's just, and these AI voices are getting realer and realer by the day. So I think if you're worried about it not sounding like you, I highly recommend jumping in, because at some point it will. The other interesting thing that I've been playing around with in terms of marketing is Notebook LM. And this is a tool made by Google that has taken off. It's been out for a little bit, and it actually can turn content into a conversational podcast. So one day I was thinking, I was like, it would be cool to upload my newsletter to Notebook LM, and basically have two people having a conversation around my newsletter. And I have an example that I'm going to play right now just to show you how crazy it is. So all I did was literally just upload the link to my newsletter, and this was a sample of the conversational podcast that came out.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. We love to explore the cutting edge of AI, and today we're taking a look at Cliff Worley's Cliff Notes newsletter.
Ah, yes, Cliff's newsletter. It's always packed with insightful stuff.
It really is. This one is from December 2nd, and
So pretty crazy. It's literally like two people literally having a conversation around my newsletter. And I think it has the ability to where when I have links in my newsletter, somehow it's going to go check and read that content in the links. So it really has some context into what they're actually talking about. It's absolutely crazy. It's kind of creepy at the end of the day. All right, so video tools. All right, so one of my favorite video tools is called Dream Machine. What this one does is you can create, if you create an AI image, now they have these tools that can turn that image into video, which makes it look super real. So here's an example. I've created this, little image of a panda. And then now I can just upload it into Luma Labs and Dream Machine, and it'll just animate that panda automatically for me. And this thing takes maybe 5 to 10 seconds to do. So absolutely crazy. At some point, we'll all be able to make Hollywood level mini movies at some point. So, and this is just an example of the meme. I know you guys have seen this famous meme, but literally you can put it in there and then it just brings that meme absolutely to life, which is crazy. There's another tool called Synthesia. This is an AI video avatar tool. They have tons of different avatars that look like super real. They just raised, I think, $160 million. They're probably the leader in the pack in terms of AI avatars. And so this is an example.
Welcome to Synthesia, the #1 AI video platform for business. With just a few clicks, you can transform boring text into highly engaging training, sales, or marketing videos using high-quality AI avatars and voices.
Looks absolutely real. And this will only look more real as time goes on. So those are AI kind of generated avatars. But then there's a tool called HeyGen where you can actually make an AI avatar of yourself. I'm sure you've probably seen some people online doing this. But literally you can just upload a video of yourself and then you can give it a script and it learns your voice, it learns your mannerisms, and you can create an AI generated video. Here's an example of one.
Today, we want to give you a peek into the future. You can use HeyGen to create UGC style content, even while people are in motion or moving their hands. You can even hear the background noise. Create a training video with specific tones and gestures, and you'll find how natural HeyGen's videos can be. Let me switch to Spanish. Hoy queremos darle un vistazo al futuro. Puede utilizar HeyGen para crear contenido estilo UGC.
Pretty crazy. Like all of that is AI generated. And then another AI generated video tool is called LibDub. And this one, you can just upload your video and you can select the language and it'll automatically translate your voice and your video in that language. Here's an example.
Bonjour, je suis Cliff Worley, ici pour vous présenter une nouvelle IA sympa, des fonctionnalités pour les réseaux sociaux. L'une d'elles est proposée par la société LibDub. Ils développent une appli pour enregistrer des vidéos et parler différentes langues d'un simple clic. Bonjour.
I have no idea what I said, but I think it was French. And then finally, last tool is called Descript. This one is a really, really cool tool. And the reason why I love it is that you can edit video just by deleting text. And so you don't have to really be like a really powerful video editor. I remember I created a course and I found out about this later and I had been editing this video just the old way, I will say, the medieval way. But now you can do it just by deleting text. And it's got a whole bunch of different AI features in there as well. If you're recording videos for YouTube, it can give you all the timestamps for your videos. It can give you the YouTube summary, the tags, all the things that you need to make creating content super easy. Now, a lot of people ask me, what is my AI tool stack? And this is what it is. So I use ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. I'm paying for every single one of these. And the reason I do that is because I think, like I said, Claude really helps me for writing. And then Gemini's new deep research feature is really, really cool. As you know, ChatGPT just launched their kind of deep research function, but it's on the $200 a month plan, and I'm just not paying that right now. As you can see, I got so many tools. Of course, 11 Labs, Canva, Superhuman, Quill Meetings, Beautiful AI, Beehive, Luma, CapCut. I use CapCut for all of my video editing as well. They got a lot of AI features, and then Blaze as well. All right, so additional tips. We are at the end of this, but I want to give you guys some kind of parting words. So the first thing is AI playtime. And I know I just gave you a whole bunch of different tools, and I'm sure a lot of you are feeling like you literally just don't have the time to check out all these tools. And I totally get it. And I want to stress the fact of just carving out AI playtime. Just like when we were kids, we had playtime. Now it's time to have playtime again, where you're going to have to carve out time to learn these tools. So for me, AI playtime looks like every Friday from 2 to 4, I have my calendar blocked off. And I just use that time to just play around with tools that I have found over the weeks. And so I have like this little note where basically anytime I see any tool or anything cool with AI, I just drop it on there. And then anytime I have my AI playtime on Fridays, I just go to that note and I go, okay, today I'm learning Perplexity. And I may spend 2 hours with Perplexity, or I may spend an hour, whatever you can spend, whatever time you can spend, even if it's 15 minutes. A lot of these tools are not that hard to learn. And I might watch a YouTube video to learn it before I play with it, but you have to carve out the time. Now, the reason why this is so important is that some of these tools, once you learn them, save you a whole bunch of time in general. So it's worth to take the time to learn it because you end up saving time, and then this just compounds over time. So highly recommend that. The other thing is tool stacking. So a lot of these tools are good, but they work better when they're combined with other tools. So sometimes you might have to stack tools together. So like if I wanted to make an AI video, I might use FreePic to create the image. Then I might use Luma Labs to create the video. And then I might use 11 Labs to create the voice. And then I might use CapCut to put it all together. Right. So that's 4 tools that I'm using to create one thing. So just think about how you can stack these tools together. The other thing is like AI is not going anywhere. There's no rush. Just start with like low hanging fruit. Like if it's like you want to use AI to, help you with email, do that. If you want to just do it for just using it for meetings, and you want to take 30 days just to learn how you can leverage it for meetings. There's so much opportunity here, and, don't get too overwhelmed with, how are you going to do all the things? Like even if you were to say, I'm going to learn 12 tools, or I'm going to learn one tool a month. That's 12 tools at the end of the year, which I think 12, you see, I think I'm paying for 12 right now. And so that's really all I need. I probably have too many. The other thing you want to remember is it's the Wild Wild West. A lot of these tools are around for a little bit and then they get beat by another competitor. Sometimes ChatGPT will come out with a feature, and all of a sudden the tool that I was paying for that I thought was good is now done. And so just know that there's just gonna be different weeks. I mean, every single week it's something different. I mean, you guys saw how DeepSeek just crashed the market. And so everything is just kind of a week to week thing. And the other thing is, I'll just remind, and I used to always say this when I would give presentations on my marketing tools, is that a lot of these tools, they may not be around. There's no regulation right now really on AI. And so, just like it only takes 5 minutes to clone a voice, I'm sure at some point they're going to shut that down, or make it a lot harder, or drive the price up. And so my thing is just get in now, start playing with a lot of these things so that you don't miss the boat. All right, and so finally, my favorite tool that I just love so much that I play with every day is my own tool, and it's my own website where I've collected probably over 500 AI tools out of that 26,000 that I think are best for marketing, sales, productivity, and I update this daily. I've been sending out a newsletter every single week, just giving you the cliff notes of everything that's happening in AI for the week. And then I also give the best tools as well. And so for the last 2.5 years, I've been writing this newsletter. So all the tools that I've covered in the newsletter are on that website. And then finally, I just launched a course to help people apply AI to their jobs. It's a quick 2-hour course. I have a discount code for you guys as well. But highly, highly recommend if you're just trying to get started with AI, and it's only in 2 hours and you'll be a master. All right. If you want all of the slides and all of the tools, you can scan the QR code, and I'll also drop a link to it in the chat. Give me a second. So you can grab the tools, and then we can do Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cliff. Another round of amazing tools, and I just love how you kind of grip them together, and these areas where entrepreneurs are most focused on utilizing AI to boost growth. So amazing. Let's jump right in.
All right.
I see we have a couple questions, just generally about like um how founders might go about gaining vi visibility around like the costs of some of these tools. I understand that some of them might have like free versions and then there's a paid version.
Yeah.
Any tips or best practices there around just, planning financially to make
Yeah.
the best use of these tools?
Yeah, most of the tool now, mind you, I am an advanced AI user, so I have to learn these tools and pay for these tools. But a lot of these tools are free, or they are very, very cheap. And one thing we were talking about this earlier is that sometimes you just need a tool for a month, right? It may be worth paying that $10 for the month and then just canceling it after that. Um, and there are a lot of tools that do the same things. So it's like you don't necessarily need to pay for, Gemini, Claude, and ChatGPT. I think ChatGPT is probably the best $20 spent that you can have in this modern day era. Because you're literally getting a genius for $20. So I feel like if your budget is $20, at the very, very bare minimum, please get ChatGPT.
Amazing, absolutely. And I definitely know we have a good amount of entrepreneurs that have started exploring ChatGPT and utilizing that as marketing assistants and stuff like that. So really, really a lot of applicability there in terms of growing your presence and marketing strategy. Wonderful. We have another question here. And so thank you so much for sharing your tech stack because yeah, it's definitely when you're looking at all of these tools, it's like, okay, what are you actually utilizing on a regular basis? And so this person is asking, how do you audit your tech stack? And yeah, definitely wondering, as you mentioned, some of these tools might kind of phase out and other ones will come. So what's kind of like the cadence that you recommend following?
Yeah, I just did my audit because I had to do my taxes, and I was like, "What am I actually paying for?" And I definitely was spending way too much money on these AI tools. And I think, like I said, the way to really think about it is that like if you're in a tool daily, then it's like worth like paying for. But if you're just using it like every now and then, I would just like use it once. There's a video tool, like I'll give you an example. There's a video tool that I use, and I use it. I don't use it that much, so instead of paying I think it's like $10 monthly, you can also buy credits. So I just buy credits. So I bought like $20 worth of credits. And so then that way, like I can be good for a while.
Mhm.
Um, and so, you just have to figure out like what's most important to you for the moment. But it's like, like for example, if you want to create images, you can create images in Dolly. And they're okay, right? But if you want like really, really high quality images, you might want to go to Ideogram and they do have a free version, or you might want to go to free pick and just use those free versions of those tools. But if some of these tools where it's like they won't develop the image fast enough unless you pay. And so
Yeah.
sometimes you might have to wait, it might be a little slow. So yeah, but yeah, I think you definitely need to audit because you can just these subscription tools can pile up because you're like, oh, it's only $10. But when you have 100 tools at $10, you got a problem.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot to think about, and something we were talking about earlier of making, just being aware of, the all of the different functionalities of these tools and making sure that you're really kind of not spreading yourself too wide as many of these functions do overlap, and so being really strategic there with your use.
Mhm.
Wonderful. We have a couple of other questions here that are kind of around specifically around like image and video generation, and copyright. Any insight you have in terms of just um, the founder's ability to protect IP as they're kind of using these tools to generate this kind of imagery?
Yeah, it's funny. Actually, last week, finally, there hasn't really been any legal regulation around all this stuff and laws and stuff. But last week, a judge finally ruled on kind of somewhat of the AI copyright for image generation. And the basic takeaway is that if you prompt an image, your image prompt and just whatever comes out of that is not copyrightable. But if you make a whole bunch of different custom tweaks to that, then you can actually have copyright for that. So it's still in the early days. But they're basically kind of saying, like, if somebody creates an AI image and it's just the prompt that they used, anybody can copy that and use that and not get sued. But there has to be some sort of customization on that. So let's say like somebody's wearing a hat and you change the color of the hat, and then you change their eyes, and then you change what shoes they were wearing. Then it's like that's something that is more custom to what you've done. But you can look it up. I think it just got ruled on last week. Just Google like AI copy legal, kind of a court case or something like that. It just came out last week where they ruled on it.
Absolutely. Super helpful.
Mhm.
Wonderful. We have another question here, and you kind of briefly talked about DeepSeek. I'm wondering, if you can maybe just talk a little bit more about that. I know we have a couple folks in here that are kind of just wondering, like, what is DeepSeek? What does that mean? And implications on the AI industry here in the US.
Yeah, I'll try my best. Yeah, so like DeepSeek, basically at the end of the day, they copied OpenAI and then they built their own model on top of that. Now, the reason that it freaked out the whole industry is because they said that they had only spent like $5 million or something to train the model. But really, you have to put that 5 million on top of what OpenAI spent, which is billions of dollars to build it. But the thing that made it such a shock was that it was a reasoning model. So it basically shows you how the AI is thinking. And they beat OpenAI to releasing their model on that. So it caused this big hoopla. And that's why OpenAI just dropped their reasoning model, I think, on Sunday night. So it kind of forced their hand. But the biggest thing is, OpenAI's reasoning model it's on the $200 a month plan, and DeepSeek is free.
Right.
So now, everybody's saying, well, wait a minute, we're spending all this money on AI, and China just came out with this thing. They only spent $5 million and it's free. What's going on? And that's what caused the market to crash. And I think the big takeaway, though, is that it is going to get cheaper to use AI and use these models. And, a lot of people talk about these models that will actually just live on our desktop. And so the thing with DeepSeek is you can download DeepSeek locally on your machine, and you can run the model, and then that way it doesn't get trained. Your data doesn't get trained into the model. And so, or it doesn't go out onto the internet. And so it's kind of like this thing where we've all been talking about privacy, right? And China ends up coming out with this tool that you can put on your desktop. So I think you have to be a little technical to do that, but just think about that. That's where the future is headed. Like, imagine a world where maybe we're not paying ChatGPT $20 a month, but we're just using a model that's just living locally on our machine, so we can ask it and customize it to however we want.
Yeah, absolutely. Dream state. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I think we have time for one more question. I think this
Mhm.
is really interesting. This person is asking, it sounds like they have a team that they're working with, and there may be some skepticism or hesitation around adopting the use of AI in the business. And so this person is kind of wondering, what can they say or do to help their team avoid missing the boat, kind of
Yeah.
as termed.
Yeah. I get this one a lot. So it's funny. So when I spoke in 2023, everyone was so scared to say that they were even using AI at work.
Yeah.
Now in 2024, now everybody's like, I'm using ChatGPT. I met somebody, they said they require every employee to have a ChatGPT window up at all times.
Oh, wow.
And so the other big shift, and I've spoken at big corporations over the last year, and now the shift is, hey, don't tell anybody we're using AI, to everybody needs to be using AI at this company immediately. And so it's just a shift. And I think it's JP Morgan, but they're doing this thing where every new hire is getting prompt engineering training so that they can be ready for the workforce. And other companies are copying this. So you can, I would go online. LinkedIn has a really good report that they dropped last year with Microsoft on how AI in the workplace. They interviewed all these leaders, but basically it was like, there's like a big percentage of leaders who are basically saying they're not going to hire people unless they have AI training. And so I kind of think about it like this. Imagine if you were showing up to a job today and you didn't know how to use the internet. Like you wouldn't get the job. And I think like in a year or two, you're going to go to a job and you're going to say, I don't know Chat GPT. And they're going to be like, we can't help you. So I think it's more of a, like there's a lot of resources online to show like now why AI in the workplace is like very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Well, Cliff, this has been so wonderful as always. If you had just one key takeaway or piece of wisdom that you wanted to leave with the audience, what would that be?
Good question. I would say make the time. Make the time to play with AI because it's not going anywhere at all. It's only going to get crazier and crazier. And so the sooner you get in to start to play with it and honestly, like it should make your life easier. 3 things: save time, save money, and increase your productivity. Like that is literally possible right now. So yeah, carve out the time, put it on the calendar. I don't care if it's 5 a.m., if it's 5 p.m., if it's 8 p.m., if it's 11 p.m., 10 minutes, 15 minutes, listen to something, because it's not going away.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cliff, on behalf of the NASDAQ Center and everyone here today. We are just so grateful for your insight and knowledge and best practices here. So thank you so much for joining.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And to our audience, we would love for you to join us again for upcoming webinars, which you can view using the link that's going to be posted in the chat. And thank you all so much for joining us today. We look forward to welcoming you back online with us soon.